Okay, we're live, and I'm going to give them the go-ahead. Oh, what's going on? And, okay, as soon as I start the stream, it decides to crash. Is that what happened? Or not? My TTS looks like it's crashing, but my OBS seems fine. Okay, so... Sorry about this. I guess you guys can hear me. Nothing on my computer is working other than apparently OBS is going through still, but TTS is frozen. I'm trying to open Task Manager to see what's going on. It's not working. Can't open Discord. Can't open OBS. Can't open my Chrome browser. So I guess we're just going to sit here and talk for a second while I figure out what's going on. I think I guess I did update OBS earlier today. Maybe that was it. Oh, are we? I think we're getting movement now. Is voice meter still working? My guess is no, but possibly. All right, Hippo's back. Voice meter, it looks like, is still working. Stream is still going. Okay. All right. Pro tip, don't update your OBS if the version you're on is stable. All right, so we've got Hippo and OnDemand here. This is actually top 16. We still have a couple top 24 games left to go. One of them is going to be played tomorrow morning. Here are the deck lists. You can look at these in the description. This is Hippo's. It's boring. You've seen it since, set 1, set 2. And this one is OnDemand. So we saw this in top 16. It's more interesting, running some new cards, but it's very control-y. Perhaps not as control-y as some ways of building Palp Green. So I think it's got a shot here. But traditionally the way this goes, Sabine is way favored, but it's not always like that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's zoom out just a little bit. That looks good. All right. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We've got Hippo playing Sabine, OnDemand playing Palpatine. Looks like Hippo's got initiative. Hippo is a previous league winner, but he's been out of top cuts for a while, but he finally made it back in this one. So we'll see. Can he go all the way again? OnDemand has a really interesting line here of courier into resupply into traitorous. Oh, I'm getting Okay, there we go. I was getting an OBS error message there for a second, but it's gone now. All right. Both sides go into space here. A-wing, courier. And then onward we go. Hipo didn't pick up a 3-drop, but he does have like daring raid plus a 2, which is fine. If you're on demand, you're probably fine running courier into this A-wing, because then you can finish it off by throwing the battle droid at it. Although that is weird with like, you know, wanting to do the traitorous potentially. So we'll see how it ends up working. Traitorous might end up not actually being that impactful if it's just stealing a 2. All right, here's daring raid actually going to be popped early to stop the courier from going into the A-wing. And then followed up on the ground with the Bat Marine. On demand gets initiative here. He could go for the traders here. He could also go for like barrage the battle droid and kill the A-wing and then run into the Marine. Like that's a valid line. And Hippo's got a Dodonna here, which is interesting. But it looks like it's just gonna be the traitorous, not the barrage play I was talking about. And interesting that he goes for the Marine instead of the A-wing. I mean, if you're a Hippo, like, this isn't the worst position to be in. Like, you've got Dodonna, you've got the A-wing still. I think if I'm Hippo, I'm probably just Sabine pinging and trying to wait out on-demand's units from attacking. So yeah, there we go. So the droid goes to base. So now I'm probably playing out this Dodonna, then flipping Sabine and attacking with both these units. Okay, looks like he's actually going to attack with A-wing first before playing the Dodonna, which could end up mattering. Maybe he really wants to bait the Marine attack out just to be extra safe for this Dodonna. But it looks like he's just going to bait out a pass here from On Demand and then plays out the Dodonna. So now On Demand can like ram the Marine into the Dodonna and then use the battle droid to kill the Dodonna next round. All right, and here's Sabine. And Sabine is going to go to base for 4 here. So Hipo definitely did miss out on 1 damage there by playing the Dodonna late. And you ended up, you know, being in basically the same position. All right. If you're on demand, things could definitely be worse. They could also definitely be better. Especially with like ECL still up and a Poe in hand, like things are looking pretty good for Hippo. But it's not over yet. This barrage could change things up. Gonna be 5, put 4 on the Dodonna, 1 on the A-wing. Yep, that makes sense. So now this A-wing could ram into it, but the ECL Poe is going to be a massive game changer here because the Poe just goes into the battle droid and then defeats the traitorous, and then Hippo's now got back this Marine, and the Marine is still buffed this turn from the barrage. And On Demand is just vulnerable here. And I think that might just be it. He's going to call it, yeah. Hippo has the perfect counter to OnDemand's line here. And I'm kind of hoping we got a quick one because I do have papers to write this weekend. Oh, they're just figuring out what happened with the PO. But yeah, no, everything was above board. Fully. All right. Let's take a look at sideboards here. OnDemand does have some more space units that can come out. The Mercenary Gunship and the Black Sun Starfighter. And I think those might be the only things coming in. You certainly don't want Star Destroyers, probably not Palp's Returns, probably not Shoe Sides either. But you probably do want those extra spaceships in here to deal with some of the threats in space. Mercenary Gunship is a great answer to A-Wing turn 1, although Hippo is running Daring Raids. Speaking of Hippo, let's take a look at his sideboard. Should have rammed the Marine into Dodonna last turn. Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, he was probably playing for the barrage and wanted to use the barrage on the Marine, which, yeah, I mean, it does lose to Poe, but sometimes you got to play to your outs. So I understand not going for that play. But in Hippo's sideboard, he's got Ewing reinforcements. Maybe those come in if he expects this game to go long, but he doesn't need to. I don't know what else you bring in as Hippo, but we'll see. All right, game 2. Spot in the top 8 on the line. Hippo thinking about resourcing this forecast. Hippo's hand is actually pretty stacked right now. He's got Marine into Fleet Lieutenant, into K2, into Poe. Like, okay, he's gonna resource the Poe here, keeping the forecast. So his curve isn't quite as smooth. All right, Gamorrean Retainer picked up for OnDemand. That's actually pretty solid, especially with the initiative. That means he's going to effectively negate this Fleet Lieutenant. My guess is that it's not so much that he wasn't expecting the Poe play; it's that he figured that he needed to bet on Hippo not having it, because if he didn't have it, like, I mean, it was a pretty strong move. And Barrage only kills Dodonna immediately, but it sets up a kill onto Sabine, because it buffs the Marine. But that was last game. This one is looking, I think, a little bit better for OnDemand. Able to again force Hippo into playing 2 2s in a row instead of going into a 3 on turn 2. Sometimes that matters, sometimes it doesn't. He's got the Super Laser out so he can ramp again. He's also got this Subjugating Starfighter, which is a great answer to the A-Wing. As long as Hippo doesn't have Wing Leader, which Hippo doesn't. But OnDemand even has other options that he can go for. He doesn't even have to go for Subjugating. Okay, he is going to go for Subjugating, though. Something like, Merciless Contest into play one of these twos is not a bad move. But this one, I mean, this one allows you to use the super laser to whack something as well. All right, and here comes the ECL used early. I think, Hippos feels safe doing that because he's got this timely in hand. But he's just going to get some extra damage here on the base by using that ECL. It's really hard for OnDemand to immediately deal with multiple units, which is one of the things that makes Palp1 super vulnerable here. It doesn't have a way to project units out of hand with like an ECL. It doesn't have a leader that it can flip early to deal with things like Kira. And it doesn't have a ton of like ambush ground units until you get into like 7 resources, Invader and Maul. He's on 6 right now, and I do think he's in a better position than the last game, but maybe that's not saying much. This hand is it's not ideal for sure. He does have like Yularen into Salacious Crumb potentially, which is like a heal 3 move, and it gets you a couple units, but yeah. On Hippo's side, he's got, I mean, he doesn't have like a big unit that he can play this turn, which is good news for OnDemand. But he does have Fleet Lieutenant, which is, pretty solid unit. And if he gets like Time Lead, it can take out the Yularen. All right. And Yularen makes an appearance here. And yeah, Hippo's going to do that thing we just talked about, the timely Fleet Lieutenant. So the fleet should take 2, and then he gets to attack with something else as well. And it's going to be that K2 hidden for 6. OnDemand can use the Palp1 ability to clear Fleet Lieutenant, which is not bad. What I'd be hoping for here off the top deck is actually a resupply. So then you can go and do 8 next turn. All right, he does do that. He doesn't get the resupply, but he gets a Maul, and Maul might actually be what he needs. He does get to fire off the Merciless Contest here, defeats K2, but puts himself at 22, which is dangerous position, and Hippo just top deck the second Forakas. So I think this one's going to be over pretty quick. This might be the record for quickest top cut match. It's at least pretty close. And maybe OnDemand's gonna drag it out here. I don't think my OBS timer is quite accurate, so probably not quite the quickest. My OBS counter is too fast. All right, Maul comes out, deals with the Sabine, but now the Forakas causes are going to start rolling in. All right, for cause number 1. And that's going to be a 1. He just needs to hit 3, and that's the game. A 2. And a 3. And a 4. And you just leave him there. And the second one comes down. And that is it. And Hipo is going to move on to the top 8. Congratulations to Hipo. Let's take a look at the bracket here. We've got one more top 24 match to go. The other one has already been played. I just need to record commentary over it. And I haven't updated the bracket yet because I haven't spoiled myself. But the next one, Grand Lotus versus La Loupe, is going to be played tomorrow at 5 a.m. Pacific, 8 a.m. Eastern. It'll be an early morning one, but that's fine because I need to get up early in the morning anyway. And then from there on, we move on to the top 16. I don't think we have any other top 16 matches scheduled yet, but players are going to start getting them scheduled soon. The rest of it is set. We saw, I think, 6 different Palp1 decks, Palp1, that is, in the top 24. 2 green, 2 blue, and 2 yellow. Both of the green ones have already been eliminated. I think both the yellow ones are still in it, and one of the blue ones has been eliminated, and one of them is still in it. But it's running into a Sabine, so we'll see. I think that match is also going to be tomorrow. I may or may not stream it. We'll see if someone else wants it. All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And remember to always take the initiative.